What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're having a good week as always. Happy Father's Day, first of all, and I want to talk about today a debate that is non-going. It's talked about a lot in the media today, and is the illegal immigrant and undocumented citizen, whatever you want to call it, debate, and I want to say something different about it. First off, before I even start, I want to say I have a lot of love and compassion and empathy for everybody. This isn't about race, religion, or gender. This isn't even about citizenship or non-citizenship. I want to say from the bottom of my heart and soul, God bless you, God bless your family, God bless America, and God bless the world, and I really mean that. I don't care if you're a citizen, I don't care if you're undocumented or illegal. I have love, compassion, and empathy for you. I just have a very specific question to ask my brothers and sisters that are liberal-leaning, my brothers and sisters that are right-wing conservative, and my brothers and sisters that are in the middle. And that question is, why doesn't the mainstream media and why don't mainstream politicians, especially Democratic politicians, why don't they care about American citizens anymore? Because for me, somebody that has illegal immigrant friends, I've lived next to illegal immigrants, my neighbors have been deported before, actually my friends, I have a lot of love and respect for illegal immigrants, but I'm just so confused as a lifelong liberal, as a lifelong activist, as a lifelong environmentalist, and somebody that's left-leaning. I just can't comprehend and fathom how the number one priority of the mainstream media and politicians can be illegal immigrants, and they don't even care about families in the United States, the tens of millions of citizens, of tax-paying citizens, of people who live here, of people who have citizenship. Why are we getting thrown to the back burner, and why is this even having to be a discussion? And that's what I want to talk about today. So please listen with an open mind and an open heart. First off, I want to say if my father is watching this, I love you, Dad. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything in life, the knowledge, the wisdom, telling me to stay humble. I appreciate you and love you more than you know. So that's to my father. If he's watching this, to everybody else, to the fathers out there, to the sons, to the daughters, have a good day. Let's wait about 30 more seconds for everyone to get into the live stream. And as always, you can support me. I have it at the top, and it's going to be in the comment section at the end if you'd like to support my news analysis. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's Legendary Energy on Twitter. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's Dream Rare. That's at DREAMRARE, at Dream Rare on Instagram. And we wait about 20 more seconds for everybody to get into the live stream. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to take 2 sips, and then I'm going to talk about the illegal immigrant and undocumented citizen debate, and something that I see nobody talking about and nobody saying that really needs to be said regardless of your political affiliation. So, I'm just confused as somebody who's always been very open-minded and very loving. I'm going to be honest to people. I'm sure both sides are going to get mad or whatever, but people like Ann Coulter, they don't really appeal to me. How they're always like, deport them, deport them, deport them. I personally, I don't like people who talk like that. They annoy me, and I think it's a little bit rude and a little bit mean, but, you know, everyone has their preference. Some people like her, some people hate her. I'm just not a big fan. I'm not hating on her. You know, God bless her, God bless everyone, whatever. But I don't like people who say, do that, do that. I didn't personally. I'm just being honest for myself. Like I said, I don't care how you feel. I'm not the type that build a wall. That's not like my big go-to. Like, I'm not saying deport everybody, build a wall. So I'm not that type of person. I'm just letting you guys know there's nothing wrong either way, having an opinion or a belief or whatever. I'm just letting you know who I am. I'm not that type of person. I have a lot of compassion and a lot of respect for undocumented citizens. I know they're going through a journey. I visited Yuma, Arizona, right near the border, and the people who run the school told me, Anomaly, these kids, these undocumented kids, they're good kids. You know, Trump needs to let the kids stay. There's a lot of great people who want to thrive in America, so I think there needs to be a deal there. But what I will never be able to understand, and I just don't really get how this is even possible, it's disgusting me, it's disturbing me from the core of my soul, is how undocumented citizens and illegal immigrants, these are people that are not citizens of the country, why are they the number one priority in the mainstream media? Why have they gone to the front line of everything that's being talked about? I have a few stories today to share that you won't hear on the mainstream media. This story is how when I visit certain areas of the city that are very high in poverty, very high in, split up parents and kids who don't have role models, and, I've been to mentor there before. You walk into the school in these parts of the city, and you see memorials all over the walls of the school that kids, American citizens, in this case, many of them are black, African American, American citizens, people who have citizenship here. Kids are being murdered, okay? All over the walls are kids dying, okay? Where's the CNN town hall going to the cities and asking people in the inner cities, why are their kids being murdered? Why are American citizens being murdered every single year in our cities? Where are their town halls? Where is their liberal media coverage? Why are they not on MSNBC? Why are they not on CNN? Because American kids are being murdered in cities. It's so common that you can't walk into certain schools without seeing memorials all over the wall. Why are they not even mentioned once? Every single day that you turn on the television, they're talking about illegal immigrants, which means a person who's not even a citizen of the country. That's just what it is. I'm not hating on it. That's just the truth. Why are African American and black American citizens who are being murdered, why are they not on television? Why have they taken a back burner? How come I haven't heard about them once? How come they're not having a town hall? I have a Spanish or Latino friend who, his family lives out in the city, and he lives in an area where there's gunshots all the time. There's people being murdered and shot in his neighborhood all the time. And he's a Latino citizen, I'm not sure exactly his exact ethnicity. I haven't asked him. But he runs a small business, okay? So he came to this country, worked hard, started a small business, has a family, and he has to live in an area that has constant gunshots, and he has kids. How come he's never on the television? How come the tens of millions of Latino citizens who are legal citizens, who pay taxes and work hard and try to make it in America, why have they no place in the mainstream media? Sorry, my ears ringing a little bit. I just don't understand why these people have no voice. A normal American citizen, whether they be white or Asian or anything, just a working class citizen, a lower class citizen, even a lower upper class citizen, whatever. There's no voice of the American people on the television anymore, and it's disgusting to me. For as much love and compassion as I have for illegal immigrants and undocumented citizens, I can't fathom how sick and disturbed and just literally ill a country is to prioritize people that aren't even citizens of the country and throw all of the citizens, regardless of their race and gender. And the reason I bring up race and gender is because these are the games they play. They act like they care about race and gender, and we're so not racist. But since when was every Latino in illegal? How come they're like the top dog of the media? And there's people being murdered. There's ridiculous stuff happening in my city. There's tens of thousands of homeless people, and a lot of these homeless people are not even just homeless, they're mentally disturbed, they're borderline demonic, they're crackheads who are terrorizing my community. I can't go for a walk in my community without seeing 10 people that make me feel very uncomfortable, not because of their race or their gender or their ethnicity, because they are mentally disturbed, borderline demonic crackheads who are terrorizing the community. I have friends that run businesses and run restaurants, and they say they're coming into my restaurant and just spitting all over the place and terrorizing my restaurant. There's Uber and Lyft drivers that I talk about in the city that say there's homeless people running up to his car and smashing it with a metal pipe. I mean, this is every day. This is not like, oh, one or two people. It's everybody I talk to has a negative, thing to talk about, because there's tens of thousands of homeless people living across the city in tents. And regardless of what you think of them or how to solve it, why are Democratic politicians and why is the mainstream media that acts so liberal and so much better than me and better than you, why aren't they cleaning up the city? It's disgusting. There's trash everywhere. There's tents everywhere. There's homeless people everywhere. There's crackheads everywhere. And they're not just like, hey, give me a job. There's more jobs in America now than there are people looking for jobs. This is the first time in modern history where there's more jobs available than people seeking jobs or unemployed people. So there's one of two things. Some of them are mentally ill. Yes, they need help. I'm very compassionate, very empathetic. They need help. They need a community. They need, this. But part of me also realizes a lot of them are just crackheads who don't care. Because if I go and work, and I'm not saying, I'm very blessed, I'm very grateful to have a good mindset, but I get taxes and money taken away from me. When I work, I get 10% to every dollar. I spend $1,000, I get $100 stolen from me. And if I was a crackhead, not only would I not have to pay money, but they give me money and they give you things. And I'm not saying that certain people don't need things, but it's a myth that these people need jobs or they need housing. You can get houses, food stamps, and 2 jobs within 24 hours in the state of California. I know this because I've spoken to people. It's not hard. It's very, very easy. But the point that I'm saying is I don't even want to get into that because the homeless issue and the mental health issue and the drug issue is a multi-layered issue. And yes, you have to be compassionate, but no, you can't just be completely moronic and think that everyone can just walk around and terrorize your communities because, they pumped heroin and that now they want to spit on, 15-year-old girls. But the point is, why is that not being addressed? Why haven't I heard that on CNN? Why aren't they talking about that on MSNBC? How come when I turn on the television, which is once every 3 weeks because I don't own one and I can't stand television, all they do is lie and, fearmonger, negative, left, right, let's sell you pharmacy pills. So I don't even watch the television. But when I do, I see ads for politicians, mostly Democrat politicians, just to be honest, and they don't say a word about homelessness. I mean, San Francisco and Los Angeles have crazy, insane homeless populations. It's literally insane. You go to downtown Los Angeles, there's 20 blocks, hundreds upon thousands of tents. It's a tent zombie crackhead wonderland where they literally just have their own world. And ironically, they're building like $3,000 apartments right on top of them and acting like it doesn't exist. It's very, very strange. But anyway, why is that not on television? How come I see Democrat commercials, and no disrespect, regardless of your belief on this, I don't really care. It's all like, oh, we hate Trump, and we support Planned Parenthood, and we love abortions, and we love Trump. And if you want to talk about pro-choice, that's a whole different debate I'm not trying to have right now. But my question is homelessness not a number one priority? Is American citizens, like legal tax-paying Latino citizens and black citizens who you can't go to certain cities without seeing kids being murdered, plastered all over the walls, memorials, and those kids don't get town halls. I want the black America to have a town hall with black America in certain communities. Have a town hall with Latino Americans, legal or illegal. I mean, let the people talk. Have these town halls to talk about the issues that do matter in our communities that aren't being talked about. So my big thing is, like I said, I'm not here to tell you to build a wall. I'm not here to tell you that we need to kick people out. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, because that's not how I feel. I'm here to tell you that it is absolutely 100% insane that illegal immigrants and undocumented immigrants have become the number one hot button topic of America and of the liberal community, and they don't talk about families, white families, black families, Asian families, Latino families, American families, African families, European families, Canadian families, South American families, American citizens. Why? No one talks about them. The working class citizens, nobody talks about them. People in poverty, nobody talks about them. The fact that they did a study recently and they found out if you make minimum wage, you can't even own a 2-bedroom house anywhere in the country. Why is that not on the news? I just don't understand why American citizens have taken the back burner. I'm all for having a discussion about illegal immigrants. I'm all for being compassionate and as loving as possible. But in what twisted world are they the number one hot button issue? And oh my goodness, how dare they separate? And I don't even want to get into this issue right now because I never want to see kids separated from their families. But it's like, oh no, the dad came to the country illegally and got arrested, and now the kids don't have a father. And it's like, well, don't go to a country illegally if you don't want to get split up from your family. I don't know. Why are tens of millions of American citizens, how come all the people in jail, they're split from their families? I mean, there's thousands, and I'm not saying there should be, but there's millions of American citizens in jail that don't have a mom and a dad because their parents are in jail. Black Americans are in jail. White Americans are in jail. Latino American citizens. It's not just illegal immigrants, but the only conversation being had is, oh my goodness, the person who came to this country illegally and brought his family, got his family taken away because he broke the law and came. I mean, what do you want? I don't understand. I don't even get the debate. And why is that a hot button issue? There's tens of millions. And I'm not saying it's not important, but There's tens of millions of American citizens that happens to, and no one cares. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just don't understand the logic behind prioritizing people who aren't part of this country. It's like going to Italy, and I have no problem with Latinos. I am part Hispanic. I'm part Puerto Rican, but it's like, I don't care if it's England, people from England, or people from Canada, or people from Africa, or people from South America, or people from Finland or Norway. Illegal citizens from any other country should not be the number one talked about issue and the number one biggest concern of the American media. Look up reports of how many children go missing every year. American citizens, children, like 500,000 kids go missing every year. I've never seen the media do an article on, like, why are hundreds of thousands of American kids being kidnapped and where are they disappearing off to? They don't care about American kids, and they mask it up with this race and gender situation, but it has nothing to do with race and it has nothing to do with gender, because the second you are a Latino citizen or a black citizen or a white citizen or an Asian citizen who loves your country, who works hard, who pays taxes, and who struggles to fight the system to stay alive and feed your family, all of a sudden you don't get in the mail. They don't care about you. They don't care if you're a Hispanic family that's here, that's working hard and farming or plumbing or business or, Wall Street, whatever you do. I mean, from there to there. But if you're especially a working class family, all of a sudden you're not a priority because they're talking about illegal citizens who come across the border and what's going on. And then they use, to top it all off of just the complete hypocrisy and lunacy of it, they take pictures of 2015 and 2016 when Barack Obama was president, or 2014, of kids in cages. This is literally a picture from a 2014 or 2015 or 2016, I don't know which one, of the Obama administration and their policy with illegal immigrants. And there's kids in cages, and they use that as anti-Trump propaganda when it wasn't even a picture from the Trump administration. So they're saying there's kids in cages, and there's not kids in cages. That picture was from the Obama administration. And then MSNBC and NPR and the mainstream media this week, they did an investigation because, of course, they're not going to do an investigation into Compton or Watts or Chicago or, Brooklyn or Harlem or, you know what I'm saying, or Queens. They're not gonna go to Camden. They're not gonna go to Newark. They're not gonna do an investigation to see how they could protect families in American citizens' families. They're not gonna talk about Black and Latino American citizens. Their investigation, their number one priority is like, what are we gonna do with these kids who are being taken away from illegal immigrants? And then they go to these things, and they're nice. They literally took pictures. They have like nice little kid beds, and I'm not saying it's great that they're taken away from their families, but they're not in cages. They're in nice beds. And debatably having a better quality of life under federal care than they would in another country. So I'm not saying it's great. I don't want people to be taken away from their families. I don't want people to be separated. But the lunacy of it is like they're using fake pictures from 2014. They're, making grandiose claims and making it like, oh my goodness, illegal immigrants, they're being taken away from their families. I mean, every single person who breaks the law in the United States of America, and I don't wish this on anybody. I wish all the innocent people and people who didn't commit big crimes could, be free and be with their families. But there's tens of millions of people in our jails that are separated from our families. Like, since when was this an illegal? It's not even an illegal immigrant issue. It's if you go to jail or if you get convicted, they take you away from your family. That's literally what they do. How come fathers and mothers in jail don't have their family there? Because they're in jail. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying I want it. But this has never been a conversation when tens of millions of Americans were in jail. And moms and dads are taken away from their family for nonviolent drug offenses or, something, blue-collar crimes or whatever. I don't care. But it's not like, oh, this is the first time a mom and a dad has been taken away from no, that's what happens to everybody. So why in the world is it not being talked about? And I've sat on it for a year. I've sat on it for 2 years. I used to think conservatives and Republicans were crazy. I used to think conservatives and Republicans were rude and mean and nasty and hateful and disrespectful and racist, all the things that liberals think now. But it's ramped up to the point of not even debatable anymore. I mean, under the Obama administration, nobody cared. Under the Obama administration, you had Chuck Schumer 4 years ago saying it's almost, a majority of Americans don't support illegal immigration. And I want to crack down on it. Like, literally, the Democrat politicians who are crying now and saying, oh my God, Trump is so mean. They were literally on camera. I have video footage of them saying the same exact thing because no one said this 4 years ago. All of a sudden, Trump gets into office and they just want to do the opposite of what he says. They don't care if it makes sense. They don't care if it's water or security or safety. They just do the opposite of what he said. And I just don't understand it. And I look at it from a logical standpoint. I don't care if people are coming from Europe or Canada or Africa or Finland or Norway or Scandinavia. I don't care how white they are or how black they are. It just doesn't make sense to prioritize, to make the number one priority people who aren't citizens of this country. And that's the point I'm trying to get across here. I'm not even trying to say what we should do or what's right or what's wrong. I'm saying it's insane, disgusting, and disturbing that American families are nowhere to be found in the media. They actually get hated. If you're a smart person who wants to protect your family with the rights in the Constitution, they'll literally call you a terrorist. You have celebrities like Michael Ian Black calling conservatives terrorists because they want to protect their family and they don't trust the federal government to do it because they've never historically really done that in a strong way. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And if you look at the documentation and you look at all the facts, Washington Post, very liberal, very anti-Trump, literally it's in their name, democracy dies in darkness, we don't like Trump. They put out a report this month or last month, I'm losing track of time. They said 50,000 illegal immigrants got caught crossing the border in 1 month. 50,000. That's how many got caught. That's not how many got through. Add a number to that. Say 20,000 or 30,000 got through. Say it's 80,000 a month. Because it's definitely, they caught 50,000 a month. So say there's 80,000 coming a month. Do the math. Times 12, that's upwards of almost 1 million people a year. That's a full-on invasion. If there were 1 million people from Canada coming illegally every year, that's not immigration, that's invasion. I don't care if they're coming from Europe or Africa or South America or they're white as snow or they're black as not snow. It just doesn't make sense. And it's a slap in the face. The people who are most disgusted by it, when I talk to people, is citizens from Pakistan, from Mexico, from South America, from Europe, and from Canada, who have taken 10 years and tens of thousands of dollars to come to this country in the right way. And I have dozens of friends that are Latino who are legal immigrants, and it's a slap in the face to somebody who took all this time and money and effort to come to the country illegally, and then the big cream of the crop, the big media story and the big, oh, we love you so much more than citizens is, okay, come here illegally, don't pay tens of thousands of dollars, don't go through the system, don't have documentation. You can basically, it's very easy to scam the system. I'm not saying everyone does it, but if you don't have a social security number and you don't have any sort of identification, no crime you really commit matters because you're not really a citizen of the country. So you can open credit cards and you can get free health care and you can sign under other names and they'll never know because you don't have a social security number. And you could go back and forth in San Francisco, and like I said, I'm not here to fearmonger and say this always happens. A majority of the people are great people, but there was somebody who went back and forth like 6 times, committed multiple felonies, then killed somebody, and then the mayor of San Francisco is like, you're innocent because we hate Trump. It's like, what are you doing? You know who suffers the most? It is Latino and black citizens and white citizens, but no, the liberals certainly don't care about white people anymore, but I'm just, playing the race and gender game like they want to. It really hurts these communities of people it's not easy for American citizens. We're struggling in America now to pay rent and pay health care and pay all these things. And I'm not saying to not talk about it ever. I'm not saying to not care and have love and compassion involved in your solution. But to make illegal immigrants and undocumented citizens the number one talked about issue in America and the number one talked about person, and black families and white families and Latino families and Asian families and American citizens that are working class and lower income don't get talked about. They don't get town halls. They don't harass President Trump to talk about that because they don't want to talk about it. As soon as the economy goes up and people have jobs, They don't want to talk about that because anyone with common sense or half a brain knows, yes, jobs are important. Economy is important. It's the reason people come from Brazil and come from Salvador and come from, Colombia and come from other places. They come here because we have a good economy and we have a lot of jobs. Americans don't care about jobs because we're so privileged and we're so used to this world that we have cell phones and all this stuff, and we're like, oh, we don't care about the economy. Yeah, you don't care about the economy because you're in America. Go to Venezuela and you'll care about the economy. Go to Brazil and you'll care about the economy. Go to El Salvador and trust me, you'll care about the economy because you won't realize how important the economy and unemployment and jobs are until you don't have water and you don't have the availability. And then you're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize how good I had it. That's why everyone wants to come here. That's why 50,000 people are coming from Mexico and getting caught at the border every month. That's why people are coming from here to here to here to here to Mexico and then trying to come up because we do have a good economy. We do have unemployment, but the news doesn't talk about that because they don't care about American farmers. They don't care about American workers. They don't care about mothers and fathers and kids and, hundreds of thousands of kids going missing and all of the kids that are separated from their parents from the jail system. It's just so mind-bogglingly disgusting to me that these things never get talked about. And it's at the point now we spent the last 2 years pandering to illegal immigrants, like literally just bending over backwards for them, changing like federal laws for them. And like I said, I'm not even trying to have the debate whether it's right or wrong, but it's like 90% focus on illegal immigrants, 8% focus on race, gender, sex, and hating Trump, and 0% on American families. And it's just gross. At what point do you talk about the homeless problem? At what point do you talk about the cities where we're losing kids and we're losing families? I mean, I could talk about it forever because every single person I talk to has a story about how they're getting assaulted by homeless people. Literally like 50% of the homeless people they don't need a job or anything. They're just literally like cracked out on heroin to the point where they're satanic and demonic. They don't even have a brain. They're just assaulting people. Most cities you go to, the homeless people kind of just sit there. You go to New York City, you don't see a lot of homeless people assaulting. You go to California, the homeless people are insane. I'm driving the other day and I'm passing somebody and there's a homeless person assaulting, 2 young girls and a guy. My friend tells me they break into his business. The driver's telling me that they smashed his car window. And I could see with my own eyes the things that they do every day. They terrorize my community. I'm not talking about the homeless people who lost a job and are down and out. There's tens of thousands of people terrorizing my community every single day. And nobody talks about it. Somebody said the vets. Obviously, there's so many homeless vets. 22 veterans commit suicide a day. People fight for our country, put their lives on the line. Veterans never get talked about. If anything, we hate America. We hate veterans because we don't like the wars. It's not their fault. They're not the politicians starting the wars. Support the veterans. Veterans never get talked about. The working class never gets talked about. My family moved here from multiple different countries, from Italy, Poland, and Puerto Rico. And if you would have told my family 50 years ago that they escaped, oppression to come to the United States to get blamed for everything and called privileged and, they're working to pay taxes, working 40, 50 years in a factory, and all of a sudden everything's their fault. They're getting blamed for like Western civilization and the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria when they're not even from here. My grandma's from Puerto Rico. My grandfather's from Italy. My other grandfather's from Poland. My grandma's from Czechoslovakia. They didn't sail over and, kill the Native Americans. I didn't do this. I came here and I got oppressed or whatever. And then, I worked hard and now I'm here and it's still not easy. And, I'm working to get more, but I have enough and I'm grateful. But I don't get talked about. My family doesn't get talked about. My friends don't get talked about. People in my community don't get talked about. The beautiful people, you want to talk about real multiculturalism and diversity, I've had hundreds of conversations from people from Syria, from people from Lebanon, from people from the Middle East, from Africa, from South America, and people from America. And all of the beautiful conversations I have had and all of the beautiful experiences I have had with true diversity and true multiculturalism, these stories never get told because they don't fit the narrative of victim mentality, illegal over citizen, and like this weird game of just throwing labels on people. You're black, you're white. A black American from 20 different families is going to act 20 different ways. people from Africa are going to act 50,000 different ways than black Americans because they've had different experiences growing up. Everybody's different. We're not black. We're not white. We're not blah. We're not blah. You know, that's not how, it's not, you're an immigrant. So you should feel like an illegal immigrant because you're an immigrant. Since when did the word immigrant become a synonym for illegal immigrant? I can't even fathom how that happened. It went from illegal alien, which I agree is a weird name, to illegal immigrant, to undocumented citizen, to like privileged, prioritized human being who gets more love and compassion and priority than American families struggling. It's absolutely insane. I really just don't understand it. And what I'm doing here today is not to throw shade or hate because, like I said, I have so much respect. I'm not a politician. I'm not a cop. I'm not an ICE agent. My job is not to figure out what to do for security. My job is to show love and show compassion and help people and love my neighbor and, you know, do what I can without, you know, it affecting my life. So that's what I'm here. But I'm simply just trying to start the discussion of when do American families of every race, of every religion, and of every gender, ethnicity, when do American citizens get talked about? Because this is the American flag. This is the country we live in. And whether you love it or hate it, this is the flag and this is the country that people are coming by the millions to come work and live here. So if it's so terrible and so bad and so horrible and we're so racist and sexist, then why are hundreds of thousands of people coming here every single month? It's because they love America. You should love America whether you're an illegal immigrant here. Then that means you came here and wanted a better life, which is great. I hope it works. And I really genuinely mean that. And if you were born here and if you're a citizen, you should love it even more because you have the life that hundreds of thousands of people are trying to get and running into a lot of problems. So this is the flag that unites us all, whether you love it or hate it. If you live in this country, you're an American citizen. If you're black or white or Latino or Asian, it doesn't matter. We're all Americans. So this flag needs to stop getting stigmatized because whether you like it, you want to talk about labels, this is one label that encompasses all of us and even the undocumented immigrants. This is our flag. This is the flag, and this is one label that takes away our color and takes away our ethnicity and puts us all in the same group. I don't use the word minority because I don't know what a minority is. I don't use that wording because I think it's rigged wording to keep people down mentally and spiritually. I don't know what a minority is. I know what a majority is. My black brothers and sisters are part of this majority. My white brothers and sisters are part of this majority. My Latino brothers and sisters and Asian and Indian brothers and sisters and Muslim and Christian brothers and sisters are part of this majority. I don't know what a minority is because we are all American, whether you love the country or agree with everything that's going on here or not. And my question is, when are the people who pay taxes and who are citizens and who have documentation to belong to this flag in this country, when do they start getting town halls? When do they start getting on the news? And when do we start talking about American families and American citizens who deal with the same exact thing that illegal immigrant families deal with? And I don't want to, compare and contrast, but right now I just want to say, when in the world do we get a spot on the media? Because all we get is hate and disrespect and told we have this and that and just totally just get destroyed by the media and politicians. And it's really disgusting to me because I know too many good people, the silent majority, who never get spoken about, who never get love, who never get empathy, who never get compassion, and oftentimes get the exact opposite. All I'm asking for is the same. Thank you guys so much for listening. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family. God bless the world. If you would like to support, check below the title or in the comment section when I'm done. I appreciate your support. That's why I'm able to do these things. Also, sign up to my free email list. If you haven't, it's free. It takes 2 seconds. We can stay connected. Follow me on Instagram at Dream Rare. Follow me on Twitter at Legendary Energy. Subscribe to my YouTube and stay tuned on Facebook if you would like to see more videos like this. Thank you guys so much.